Alright, hello guys. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that same snowstorm we were talking about yesterday. We're going to take a deeper dive into the snowfall totals for more of the western portion of that storm. We're not going to get into the northeastern United States yet because I figured I would make more of a video on that by time it's Monday or Tuesday. We will talk briefly about the thoughts on that, but for the most part, we're going to be focusing on the central United States, southern Rockies, Great Lakes, some of those regions of the United States for this half of the storm. This storm is going to be taking up a lot of time. It's going to be a multiple day storm, so it's better to cut it in half, and that's how we're going to maintain better accuracy on these forecasts, which is always obviously number one priority. Now, we're going to be taking a look at our GFS model and taking it day by day, hour by hour, and just giving you guys a deeper look into what hours, where the snow is going to be, and how heavy it could be. So let's get right into that. First things first, we're looking at this afternoon. So you can see we're mostly focused here on Colorado. There's a lot of snow going on for a lot of the other Rockies in western United States that isn't associated with this system. So mostly for this very, very western portion, we're going to be talking mostly about Colorado here. So you can see there's moderate snow going on for Colorado. Let's move on one frame, and you can see more organized snow system moves in here and brings more moderate snow to Colorado, even a little bit heavier than it was in the most previous frame. And this is by tomorrow morning, Saturday, December 14th morning time. Now we're about to head on where we're going to see our low pressure system that we're talking about in this video finally start to really develop, and we'll get a better idea of what to expect with this storm. Alright, as you can see, we have a low pressure system developing in New Mexico, and that's going to be actually our snow system that we're going to be talking about throughout this video. We did see snow showers going on for Colorado, and that is going to be in my snowfall forecast that will be at the end of the video, so that will be included. That's why I wanted to show that stuff. But basically, we have moderate snow and rain going on for the four corner states. Also, notice ahead of the storm, we do have snow going on for Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. That's also going to be a major factor in this major winter storm that we have developing here for the central United States. This is by Sunday morning, this frame, I forgot to mention, December 15th. Let's move on another one, and we're going to take a more zoomed in look at the south central United States, because this is going to give us a better look at everything going on with this storm by this point. And this is by Sunday night, December 15th, heading into December 16th. We do see moderate snowfall still going on for Colorado, New Mexico, and then also those snow showers that were ahead of the storm are developing further for Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. We do see some mixing issues going on for the more southern portions of this storm, obviously, but that's not going to play in too much. Obviously, we'll have a better look in our overall snowfall forecast at the end of the video. You'll be able to tell where we're expecting accumulations and where we're not expecting accumulations. Now, we're about to head on and take a more northern look at this storm where Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Ohio are all going to get impacted more and more by this storm as we move on. This is by late on Sunday night into Monday. This is probably 2 a.m. Monday, December 16th. And we can see Kansas, Nebraska still getting a little bit, trying to hold on to that snow. Southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and through the central portions of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. I want to keep in mind this is the GFS, and the GFS is keeping this storm further north than any other models are so far. So that's going to be a major contributing factor as we head forward. You just have to keep that in mind. I am going to show the total snowfall forecast from the GFS, Canadian, Icon, European, all of that we will go over in this video. So don't worry, rest assured we will show you what we mean by that later on in the video. Now, let's move on another frame, and you can see this really takes its more northern turn here. This is by Monday, December 16th morning time, and you can see Chicago even getting impacted a little bit here. Maybe even Detroit at a certain point will get impacted on this model, but again, no other models are really showing that. We see Iowa, Missouri still getting snowfall, but it's basically done for Kansas and Nebraska, Indiana, and Ohio, the northern portion of those states at least, getting snowfall by this point. Let's head into the evening time of Monday, December 16th, and we can see Chicago starting to get some more moderate snowfall, as well as St. Louis there by this point, finally switching over to snowfall. Kansas City obviously had snow during this storm on Sunday. I wonder if the Chiefs are playing at home. That'd be interesting to see a snow game. As we head on another frame towards Monday night into Tuesday, we do see, so heading from the 16th through the 17th, We see that snow finally wrapping up for Iowa, Missouri, and it's almost done in Illinois, but really Indiana, Michigan, and northern Ohio being the bullseye by this point for snowfall. Now we're about to get into our modeled snowfall forecast where we're going to go over multiple models and their total snowfall for this entire storm. And then after that, we're going to get into our forecasted direct weather snowfall map at the end of this video. All right, let's take a look at that GFS total snowfall forecast. In the blues, you're looking at anywhere from a dusting to about 3 inches. As it turns purple, you're looking at about 3 to 6 inches of snow. And in those pinks, that's where we're looking at 6 to 12 inches of snow. And even some greens there for the southern Rockies there in Colorado. We're looking at potentially 12 to 24 inches of snow. And this is through Tuesday. This is through Monday the 16th all the way until it's almost Tuesday, December 17th. And that's going to be basically the first half of the storm. Again, Monday, I'm going to make an East Coast forecast, and we're going to get more into that second half of this storm. We see the GFS has some of those middle portions of the storm. Well, I guess the first thing that's worth mentioning is all of the models are pretty consistent with Colorado getting, 6 to 12, maybe 12 inches plus in some of those high elevation areas. It's that middle portion that's kind of up in the air because a lot of them have it further north, further south, more or less snowfall. But right now the GFS is showing purples and pinks throughout Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois, those middle portions of the storm, which is actually on the higher end. Now, as we take a look at the Canadian model, it's a lot of the same story. Again, Colorado looking very similar on this model as it was on the GFS. This one has kind of a more northern tilt to it and has a general 1 to 3 inches of snow, pretty widespread throughout the Midwest portion of the United States. Let's take a look at that Icon model now, which is a German model. And this one through Monday doesn't have a lot of snow heading into Ohio or Indiana, but really does have a lot for Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska. This is kind of an outlier and not really known as a reliable model, but I felt like it was worth just showing for fun here. Now, your NAM 12KM model has the most snowfall out of any of the models, but that's pretty typical with the NAM. It usually likes to overdo things just a little bit, so we're pretty used to that, but we see a general 6 to 12 inches of snow pretty widespread throughout Nebraska, Iowa, northern Missouri, and Ohio as well. Now let's take a look at your European model. This is the European ensemble first off, and you can see again, the southern Rockies pretty consistent, but through Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, we have a general 3 to 6 inches of snow in the deeper blues there. Pretty realistic forecast. And then here's the European model, and this is actually the one I agree with the most here. We see in those purples that are kind of scattered throughout the main middle portion of this storm, we do see 6 to 9 inches of snow there on the Colorado-Kansas border, and then there on the Missouri-Illinois border, which I find pretty realistic. Now we're about to get into our official snowfall forecast, so stay tuned for that. All right, looking at this first frame, we can see mountain snow in this pink region. That's going to vary anywhere from a dusting to 20 inches of snow throughout those high elevation areas, but that's not really associated with this system. I just wanted to put that there just in case you guys get snowfall in that area and you're like, we got snowfall, why didn't you forecast it? I am forecasting snowfall there, obviously, just not with this system. Now, let's add our first layer of snowfall here, and this is going to be our dusting to 3-inch layer. Here you can see it takes over the entire area, so all of these white regions are where we expect to see the potential for snowfall to accumulate. Let's add our second accumulating layer here, and this is our 3 to 6 inch layer. This extends all the way from the Colorado Rockies all the way through Kansas into Missouri, a little bit of southern Iowa there, into Illinois, Indiana, and northern Ohio. And this is kind of a pretty good combo of all the models. I would say the model that this most resembles is probably the European model, if I had to pick one. Let's add our third layer, and this is our 6 to 10 inch layer. We have two different areas of this, one there for Kansas City through all of northern Missouri and into some of those central portions of Illinois. Also, for the higher elevation areas in the Colorado Rockies as well, that's where we have another area set up for 6 to 10 inches of snow. And for our final layer, we have our 10 to 15 inch layer, which I think is going to be pretty widespread throughout some of those Rockies there in Colorado. Obviously, they're going to have a lot more hours of snowfall with those days and days of snowfall beforehand, and that's why they're getting a lot more than the surrounding regions. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said before, we're going to have a second half part to this video, probably coming out around Monday time frame, where we're going to talk more about the northeastern portion of this storm, which is going to impact areas in the northeast. We just don't know for sure how that's going to shape up yet. Again, the track on this one is very uncertain and very tricky, so that's why I'm kind of cut it in half just to play it safe. Be sure to share this video with your friends if they do live in these regions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.